Oh, glory. A seat to sit in. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. Dat bread 75 months with the Prime and not far behind my man Panda. 66 months with the Prime. Thank you both, gentlemen. I hope you're both doing well. Panda, I haven't seen you in a bit. I'm just going to assume safely that you are still winning at life. Your wife has okayed the fact that you were approached by several incredibly attractive women for one giant orgy in which you were the only man, and you are now, that's great news, so congratulations. Also winning the lottery. I hope you put that money to good use, and hopefully, you don't lose too much of it in taxes. America is a bit of a bitch in that regard. Otherwise, thank you very much and welcome back. I came here for lo-fi, mid-as-fuck space gameplay to fall asleep to. Boy, do I have the game for you. It's called Starfield. God, that picture, like, gives you the sense that this game is so much fucking cooler than it actually is, doesn't it?
First time I have been inside this part of the lock, so keep your...
I have, I don't remember actually being inside here. That's kind of, oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. I will say that apparently I haven't taken any screenshots, so I don't know. But apparently if you take screenshots, the game will pull some of your screenshots to use as loading screens. Do with that information what you will. I mean, I guess it's a good way of keeping the loading screens feeling fresh, given you're gonna see them every 4 to 5 minutes. Or 4 to 5 seconds, depending on what you're doing at the time. I am happy to announce that, except for... I don't even know if I'm gonna do it right now. I might even wait and see if I really need to. Other than adding one block onto the back part of the retaining wall that I had done for the top of the driveway last year, to meet up with a rock ramp that I put in between the two retaining walls to go up this hill in the backyard. I'm done! The retaining wall / flower bed is complete. Finito. Not only that, but I cleared the entire backyard of 600 ton of stone, much of which I used to put at the bottom of this retaining wall and flower bed for drainage purposes, amongst other things, and leveled the backyard out with the remainder of the dirt that I had. So, Rock Lord, Powerful Living Rock, I believe they actually mined all of the rock for that show in my backyard. There was a, when I went out today, and the goal was, the primary goal was to put gardening fabric down, or landscape fabric down, on top of the, big stone for, that's being there for drainage, before putting, earth on top of it. And so I had to get earth, and I had some laying around because I had dug a trench for the wall to begin with. And so, I started digging, this mound of earth that I had dug out, for the wall, and it just looked like nothing but earth. And in my head, it was basically all earth, because I thought I had raked all the rock out of it. No! Like, 70% of that mound was fucking just, you know, big ass stone. Like I took a picture. I have a picture before where you can see just like the mound of earth or whatever, and it just looks like a mound of earth. And then I have an after picture where you can see all of the stone I pulled out of it, and the question that you would ask yourself is, was there actually any earth there? Thankfully there was just enough from all the sources in the backyard to cover the landscape fabric up. That's all I needed to do. I just need to have it covered for the winter, and then the rest of the stuff that goes in there will be gardening soil in the spring. But so much fucking rock. So much rock. I have so much dirt sediment that has settled in between my rocks over my landscape fabric that I'm getting a ton of weeds in the rock. Oh, it takes nothing for any weeds to grow. Like, you could put fines, like roadway fines, which is what I have, you know, Myogs has seen the wall, I've sent pictures. So I've used the roadway fines. Somehow, weeds will grow in that. I don't know where the nutrients are coming from, but they'll fucking grow in that shit. Like we are not studying weeds nearly enough. There is something that there's something in that genetic code that we need to discover. Because my God, we gotta be able to like utilize that in some way, shape, or form. Fucking madness. Absolutely madness. But yeah, the gardening fabric is just to help a little bit with some of the. It's not really to stop the weeds, because I just put a bunch of earth on top of it. The weeds are 100% growing the fucking dirt on top. But there's nothing you can't stop. Like I put gardening fabric down to put bark mulch on top of, and that will kill weeds. But if you're planting shit on top of something that you put gardening fabric down for, or landscape fabric, nah. Game over. You can't win. That's why, like, most of my yard, it's a mixture of grass and wildflower and clover and a bunch of shit. Like, I ain't out here trying to be, like I said this before, I know Myogs is trying to keep up with the rich folks in his neighborhood, but nah. It's just grass, clover, wildflower and shit, because the moment you tear all that out, it's like my next door neighbor. He's torn his grass out. And it's not even that it's not even that he's up against anyone that has like a bunch of weeds. Like, Dad is next to him, and Dad's yard is like immaculate. And so, but he took all of it out and resodded the whole way over. 3 years in, fucking clover everywhere. Weeds just fucking everywhere. And so he gave up. He just said, alright, fine. And that was like the second or third time I've seen him sod his yard. And so for me, not even worried about it. Not even worried about it. You know what? I actually, for me, it's also a little easy because, a mixture of grass and clover, wildflower and stuff is a bit nostalgic for me, because at my grandmother's place, the family home, the whole property was that, because it was old farmland. It's all that. So you mow the lawn or whatever, sure, but like that was what it was made up of. And the bees love it, and the birds love it, and everyone's fucking happy. And when you mow it from a distance, it's green and it's a block of color, and it doesn't fucking look like it's like, can you tell it's not pure, you know, densely packed grass? I mean, yeah, sure, I guess, but you clean all the edges up and everything, it just looks fine. It's whatever. Like, I don't let the dandelion go fucking nuts in it. Like, I'll kill the dandelion and whatnot, but clover and other wildflower. I got wild strawberry growing in parts of my fucking yard and shit. I got a fucking random, I don't even know where it came from. It's like a blackberry or raspberry bush started growing out of fucking nowhere. All right. Sure. Why not? Let her go. Let her go. I've had a tarp down for 6 months, weeks, and grass doesn't care. Yeah, no. Weeds and grass don't care. Yeah, no. The only thing that killed mine off was all of the granite cinder block that I used to build. Well, it's designed for it, but to build the retaining walls with. All that was leftover stuff from the previous owner's various retaining walls and stuff around the property, and I had them all stacked up. I had them all stacked over another side of the property, and that killed everything, as you would imagine. I mean, you're putting rock to the ground. It ain't seeing shit. It's smothered. It ain't getting air. Super dead. Like, unless you go that far. And I mean, I could take all those up and I leave it, and all that shit would be full of fucking weed and everything in like 3 days. Might have been birds carried a seed or two. Well, that's the other thing, is that like, you know, birds carry that stuff all over the place, and so it's very difficult to keep your yard completely devoid of any of that shit. It's just kind of the way that it goes, but. You know, I'm very happy with the wall. It looks fucking fantastic. It actually starting now it allows you to look in the backyard and actually see, like, you know, you can start to envision what the backyard will eventually look like, because it's literally a barren fucking way. It looks like a construction zone back there. Like it's fucking nothing but like gravel and bullshit. Because it used to be all one giant deck the old owner had, like, throughout the entire fucking yard. So it's just completely, when we bought it, you know, we had my buddy come over with a backhoe and tear the whole backyard out. You know, shed and fucking wood, you know, 10 by 10 retaining wall wood and fucking deck and everything else, just tore the whole fucking backyard out, leveled it off and everything, and so it just looks like a construction zone. So it was, you know, you're looking out, it's kind of bleak, but now that wall is there and whatnot, and you can kind of, and the yard's been cleaned up of a lot of like the junk rock and shit, you can almost see, like, you can envision it now. So that's kind of exciting. Notice how I will do almost anything other than play this game when I turn it on. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I'm not even doing it intentionally. I haven't even done it intentionally. My TV's like turned dim and shit. It's impressive. Xenon, what up, buddy? Yeah, so to answer your question, if you're still here, the answer is I think there's been like 2 quests that I would say I would classify as fun. Now, how much fun are we talking about? Not a lot, but when the rest of the game is a stifled yawn, it doesn't take much for a quest to stand out as fun. You know what I mean? Now, we're in the midst of a quest line that might turn into something fun. It's been kind of whatever so far, but it has promise. It has promise. I have a bunch of bug bites again. I'm gonna be salty as fuck. But, you know, this one has promise, so, you know, we will see. We will see. Trudeau starting a spy war with India to change the convo. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about with that, really. It's just kind of like, you know, from my perspective, all we have is more or less hearsay from everyone. So we have various agencies. What do they call themselves? The fucking goddamn Avengers. It's like Canada, UK, US, some other shit, and they were like, yeah, so Canada received intel from all of like the other members of the fucking Avengers, letting them know, you know, that there was, you know, reason to believe, or there was evidence of, or some shit, oh, Five Eyes. Oh, okay. Five Eyes, motherfucker. Well, that's, you, like, why would you ever name an agency like that? It just sounds evil. It sounds fucking evil. Either way. Yeah, so, anyway, apparently heard that, you know, they gave them, you know, more intel on top of whatever Canada may or may not have already had. And so, for me, listen, the only thoughts I have on it are, A, if you have that information, right, don't go public and start making a big fucking, you know, to-do about it, unless you're gonna come out with the actual information. Right? Because all you're doing at that point is leaving it up to the court of public opinion as to whether or not it happened and what you're doing is worth the kickback or not. So, like, unless you're gonna come out and say everything and lay it out and fucking go, then don't say it yet. Hold on to the information until you can. Because if you can't, like, for reasons, I'm not gonna say there aren't reasons to not. But, like, maybe just don't fucking come out with it until you can. And then my only other thought is that, you know, it's just an unfortunate circumstance for Justin, or whoever would be leading Canada at the time. You know, Justin's gonna get, you know, slapped around for making these decisions. If it's true, like, if they know without a shadow of a doubt that happened, then I don't think I have a problem with what Justin is doing. The problem is that we don't fucking know anything right now, so we just have to go along with it. And if it was true as well, pretty much any leader of the country, any political party, would listen. Even Polyev backed Justin on this one. So, like, if they've got whatever fucking, like, so, and he has to know something. So whatever the fuck they know, that's got Polyev not wanting to chop off fucking Trudeau's dick, has to be something. Whatever the fuck that thing is. And maybe we'll find out, maybe we won't. The other unfortunate situation is that currently, Biden, in the US, unless something new has happened and I haven't read because I don't watch the news a lot, and it's not like it's directly about this, but, you know, Joe up to this point has been playing nice with India for, I'm assuming, economic trade reasons. And so it's like an awkward position for Trudeau to come out and kind of stand on an island without more support from other nations, because Canada by themselves to India doesn't really mean a hell of a lot. There's not a lot behind that, right? You know, Canada politically speaking, or from a trade perspective with India, is not big enough that their government is gonna really give a fuck, especially if they have a government that is very specifically, you know, trying to accomplish some, let's call it, IRL political theater. So yeah, very challenging situation all around. I just wish that that whatever the situation is, that it would have allowed them to just simply hold on to that information until they could come out with everything, so that it wasn't just multiple countries looking at Trudeau, who's already got a shit reputation right now, so anything he says is gonna have 1,000% more scrutiny, right? So, like, it would have been nice if they, like, if you were gonna do it, to, like, wait and then present to the class, show and tell, so to speak. But, you know, it is what it is. It's another, you know, weird fucking political meme. But I mean, if that really happened, so I like, think about it for a second. If it's really true that that a foreign government carried out something like that in like a NATO country. And it was for okay, now I'm gonna sound this could be very ignorant, but to my knowledge, they're calling them extremists or terrorists because they're being labeled separatist or something. So separatist. I mean, if that was the case, then we could be taking out a whole lot of French Canadians. But that was my understanding. So like, imagine. I mean, that there's a lot to unpack there. That's a lot to unpack there. Imagine the implications of that shit. That's kind of fucking wild. Let alone in Canada, which prototypically, or not prototypically, but stereotypically, very few countries would ever find a reason to do something so fucking insane on Canadian soil. So, very weird. The whole situation's fucking weird. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh.
It's hostile.
How many people did the UC stick down here, Dal?
A couple of hundred at least. Might not look like much, but it was better than trying to survive on the surface.
Not much better. Even with the heating on, this place looks like a goddamn dump.
Now you know why the prisoners got fed up and looked to Cricks to lead them out of here.
And that's how the Crimson Fleet began. Yeah, we've all heard the story.
It's not a story, Nathis. It's history. Remember that. Now, keep your mouth shut and your eyes open.
Well, somebody turned on their body flashlight. Who's got the body cam on here? The flashlight going on. Where's this light being generated from? This guy? Yeah, this guy. Don't ask me where the light's coming from specifically. It's just emanating without emanating from? You can okay.
Before transferring them to a cell block. Could you imagine being stuck under a ton of ice like this for the rest of your life?
Yeah, sure. Must have been awful. Better them than us, though, am I right?
Wait, shut up a second. Did you hear that? Huh?
Well, that was level 20. There's more. Somewhere. Like over here, were they expecting the player to like come over here or run away to fight so that they'd be aggroed or something? Where are they?
Must be a nest. I bet these things are crawling all over the place.
Oh.
Yeah, and their buddies probably heard us firing from about 1 kilometer away. Hallelujah. If we weren't on this job with Delgado, I'd drop you for saying that.
Yeah, I'd shave your beard.
Already. I should have known better than to bring both of you at the same time. Now let's see. Looks like we are inside some sort of prisoner transfer area. but everything is locked down tight. Since you are such good friends, why don't you and Mathis head up to that control room and see if you can get some more of these doors open?
Tempting. Didn't see that coming.
Damn it.
Oh shit, did I might have fucked this up. Because, in order to use that, this one don't work. You undo, but it's a whole ass digipick, so... Is this a novice pick and it managed to give me a combo that didn't just basically free win? Oh, okay. Amazing. That was more for the experience than anything else.
Well, this is just great. The hell are we supposed to do now?
I think the bigger issue here is that I'm talking to a steel beam.
The plan? Who gives a shit about the plan?
Uh,
Let's face it, we're on our own now.
That's a structurally sound plan. We should go with that. Yeah. I have no more beam issue, or beam reference jokes. I've run out. One whole joke. Burned.
Why? Because that's what his loyal little soldiers are supposed to do?
It's an awful lot of back talk for a steel beam.
I have a better plan.
What's that?
Use this opportunity to take out Delgado, and at the same time, make some serious credits for ourselves.
Don't make me get out the jet fuel.
Whoa, hang on. Give me a second to explain.
All of a sudden,
Let's
Mr.
pretend
Big
for a
Sack
second Delgado's correct.
getting scared.
And there's information here about Crix's legacy. Once we get rid of him, we'll dig up the garbage ourselves and sell whatever we find to Neva.
Wow.
We'll be rolling in credits.
Why would Neva buy that from us? What makes you think Neva gives a fuck about any artifacty type shit you're pulling out of here?
No way. Listen to me. We're going to be handing Neva leadership of the Crimson Fleet on a platter. She'll be thanking us for getting rid of Delgado. I mean, come on. I'll bet you a month's share that he's never been this vulnerable. It's perfect.
Neva won't even pay off her tab at the general store. You want me to believe she's gonna pay us for this information, knowing she's gonna be the leader of the Crimson Fleet, instead of just taking it from you since she's now the leader?
Oh, fine. Suit yourself. You know, for a second there, I was almost starting to respect you. Now, let's find a way out of here.
Oh no. You don't respect me. Whatever shall I do? It's a good clip for Mark for the review. You never know, we might need a meme. Oh, welcome back.
While we're picking through the trash, we might as well grab some good stuff for ourselves.
You know what I need Bethesda to stop doing? I mean, there's a laundry list at this point, but what I would like them to stop doing is assuming that...
How can these things live in this kind of cold? That's bullshit.
Assuming that the NPCs, or your followers, need to constantly be saying something. All the fucking time. I would just... They really... I really need them to get over that. Like, it's... They don't need to be that chatty. And not every NPC needs to say something as you walk past them for the first time in X amount of minutes. Oh, great.
Okay, Zouch. What the hell was so important that you had to drag me all the way out of A block at this hour?
You know Jasper Crick's over in D block? He's busting out of here, and he wants me to join him.
Crix really thinks he can bust out of the lock? Why the hell am I just hearing about it now?
Crick's only told the few people he trusts. He even told us to keep it to ourselves, or he'll cut our throats.
So why the hell are you telling me?
I can't
Come
imagine.
on, I
being
gotta
stuffed
explain
down
this.
Poor
Because
bastard.
I like you, Rickard. And I want you to come with me. We've been meeting in this storeroom for months to... well, you know. I was hoping we had something a little more than that.
Damn, Zouch. I, didn't know you cared that much.
Uh-oh.
You give me the signal and I'll... Oh shit, wait. I forgot to turn off the recording.
Recording? What the hell, Rickard?
We never meet down here this late. I thought you were gonna kill me, alright?
Kill you? God, no. I
You hear
love
that?
you. All right?
Ah, never mind.
You gotta make me say it.
This place is
Shit.
starting to get to me.
I'm sorry, baby. Here, let me turn this thing off and I'll apologize, okay?
Okay, I don't know how to, we got a recording where the girl's like, hold on, let me turn this off before I blow you down here in the middle of nowhere. And then this guy who just
Can you
won't shut
imagine
the
how
fuck
angry
up.
prisoners were when they rioted?
Uh-oh.
I would hate to
Uh-oh.
have been in one of those.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh! I found what you heard. This bin is possessed. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh sh... If that touches me, I'm 100% taking fucking damage. Uh-oh, it's free now. It's free to spin as fast as it needs to spin.
When we get out of here, remind me to thank Delgado for hanging us out to dry.
Oh my god. Oh.
Hello? Hello? Waiting to hear back. Answer if you can. So the two of you made it, huh?
Oh god. Wow.
Well, brush the dust off and listen up. We have obviously
Ay,
been cut
ay, ay.
off, so I need you to do two things. First, I want you to keep looking for a way to open the rest of the doors down here. Otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. And second, try and dig up whatever you can about Jasper Cricks. You both got that?
And gave birth. That log had a child?
Dios mío. Do I have to explain absolutely everything to the two of you?
Yes.
You are standing in the control room for this part of the facility. Look for a switch or a terminal or make a wish. I don't care, just hurry. Yeah? You'd better. And tell Mathis not to get any bright ideas, or I will...
Oh, well. What do you know? Oh, there is there. Jasper Cricks. Arriving on Shuttle 5 with a full escort detail. Sent to D block after arrival. Did not attempt to search or perform standard medical examinations until the prisoner is in a secure location. No finger in the pooper until secured. Let the record show this game literally put Noah Ford to sleep. I mean, I would have fallen asleep playing anything last night, in fairness. The first couple of streams, though, I was much more awake, and it was still putting me to sleep. So it's not that it's not possible, but last night, I mean, there was nothing to be done. My ass was toasted.
What I wouldn't give for a space heater and a hot cup of bogs right now.
What I wouldn't give for you to shut the fuck up. Hey, it's me.
It's amazing this entire place hasn't collapsed by now.
That's what I looked like last night. Activate D block, if you know what I mean. Protocol cock block engage.
What's that over there?
I believe
Looks like there's a guard
that's
tower.
known as a cave.
We should check it out.
Chromemeister, welcome back 17 months. Thank you, sir. How you doing today? Man's really spitting stone at me. What a dick. Where the fuck did you come from? God, this is a terrible layout for a fucking jail facility, but I guess why not? Because it's cold. We should talk when we get a chance. Are you serious right now, bro? I don't want to talk to you.
So, have you changed your mind yet?
Oh my god. First of all, we're not even in the same location right now. This man is literally 30 feet away, out a door, downstairs. What are we talking about again? Oh my lord. Okay.
Yeah, right. You saw it back there. Those things, whatever they were, they've probably ripped him to shreds by now. Did the job for us.
Where's my option to
And if
just
they
kill
haven't,
this
we can
dude?
still handle the job. We just have to get our hands
Settlement
on
needs your
dirty. Wouldn't be the first time, am I right?
Okay, there's gotta be an option here for me to just shoot this guy in the fucking head. Like, who talks like— no way, Mathis, I'm not going to be a part of your plan. It— oh my god. It does, it sounds like a fucking child speaking.
Of all the people to get trapped here with, why the hell did I get stuck with you, huh? Fine, have it your way. So, now that we've made it to the guard tower, what's our next move, genius? If you say so. I suppose we should start off by searching the tower for the location of Crix's cell. If he stashed any useful information, it might still be hidden somewhere inside.
Wow, what a giga brain idea. Last list. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just gonna make the last one. D block section 3. Okay, cache in 02106. I'm assuming O2 is in reference to the section. Oh, Dapper, you got there eventually. Hey, what up, Glitch? How goes this rainy Sunday? Well, I, did a bunch more yard work. Pretty much got everything settled. For the wall. Ow. And now here we are. Settled for the wall. Yeah, I'm keeping all of the the Americans out. Retaining wall that I've been building the last 3 days, amongst other things in the yard. Something's tripping balls. What's tripping balls? Where is it? Where is it? I can hear it. Okay, where's the computer now for this section? Ah, the showers. Amazing. Somebody was really going for that persuasion. There's another one there. The problem is, the game's UI is so convinced I want to open up this friggin' kit, and I can't pick it up and move it? No. Alright, whatever. Let me turn on my bat vision. There we go. Assassin's Beowulf. A suppressor, ergonomic grip, foregrip with laser sight, tactical mag, fully automatic. Fancy.
UC must have burned some serious cash when they lost this place. Serves them right.
Fancy. It's not a pistol, which is where we have most of our points tossed into. But it is ballistic, and we are upgrading ballistics, so nothing to say we can't,
They aren't paying
dump some points in.
this scrap heap.
I'm low-key hoping one just comes out the ground and he's so bad at shooting it that he just gets clapped. Incredible. What up, Kalutzi? How you doing? How are you now? Let's see. I'm not doing too bad. I got the retaining wall done. And much of the backyard cleaned up. And a rock ramp installed and filled in a couple of spots in the property. And got the flower bed portion of the retaining wall with landscape fabric and got a bunch of earth thrown on top of it. And,
There's gotta be a way out of this goddamn place.
finished adding onto the rock wall to, round it all out. And so, that's pretty much done. I'm gonna ask Em if she wants any planters built with any of the spare cinder block we have. Because we have so much of it. Wait, what am I doing in here? Oh. I like how there's an option to leave it alone. What? Is this... Okay, what is this, a game from 1992? Where you click on something and then it's like a point-and-click adventure and then the next scene, the object just like fucking... Flips over? What?
Today,
What?
I bumped into someone in the mess hall yapping about a ship carrying a fortune in credits. I know it's usually bullshit, but he seemed to have details. After striking up a conversation, I found out the ship was a Galbank transport named Legacy that went down in some remote system during the war.
Oh, that's bad.
This is exactly the score.
That's bad. Okay. Crisis averted? Sounds like you've been busy these past couple. Yeah, well, that's pretty much like all the. You know, what is it? Two 8-hour days and a 6-hour day to get it all done. How have you been with Starfield, Memory? Have you started enjoying it yet, or still dog water? It's just, two quests have been okay, as far as entertainment is concerned. Everything else has just kind of been, eh.
Today, I bumped into some...
Delgado was right. Cricks must have hit the Galbank transport and stashed away the money or something. We play this right, and we're gonna be filthy stinking rich in no time.
It bothers me to no end that at any point in time in this quest, I can't just kill this dude. I know if I shoot him, he's just gonna go to like a down state, and I'm gonna be in some like permanent state of fuckery or something. So I'm just forced to go along with this nonsense. Well, that's shortcut. Bud. Let me, as he teleport. He's gonna teleport to me? Where is he coming in? Where is he coming? Behind me, maybe? Oh, there he is.
It blows me mind.
What in the fuck is that? Wait, wasn't I already in this?
Okay, Carter.
Maybe not.
Confirming that the latest code to the utility room is 486111071. The mining crew tells me it'll take them a week to cut through the ice, so I'm giving you that long to square your end of the plan. When the tunnel reaches the armory, I'll get my people to start a riot. When you hear the fireworks go off, get your ass to the shuttle bay. We get one shot at this. If we play our cards right,
You breathe a little heavier. It's interesting how many people I've seen online, pretty major people in the industry in general, not just in like the YouTube, you know, sphere, but the professional sphere,
I can't imagine being stuffed down here.
all coming, you know, kind of like a couple days at a time. You can start to see when people started playing the game. All around the point where I am, 30, 40 hours in, going, man, this game's just not really all that great. And they try to be like, you know, good about it. Be like, I understand, you know, like I can see how some people might enjoy or whatever, but like it's just not a great game or whatnot. And it's like everyone's having the same thought at the same time. All around that 30, 40 hour mark. I don't think that's a fucking secret. If you go online, you can see an awful lot of, you can see, I had to press start, I'm sorry, I can't fucking listen to him just fucking run his mouth every 5 seconds. If you go online, you'll see a ton of, like, 1 hour long, 3 hour long, 50 hour long retrospectives and analyses in depth, like, more than anything you could possibly hope for about Skyrim and how it's not as good of a game as people, you know, make it out to be or want it to be. But it's an interesting thing where, like, the popularity is obviously there, but and then it's a big thing about why is it popular? Understanding, like, why so many people are willing to, like, the old meme of, like, install Skyrim, mod it for 3 months, never fucking play it, kind of a deal. Or, I've listened to, out in the backyard in the last few days, I've listened to, like, oh man, 4 different retrospectives. A couple of them, like 2 of them were kind of, you know, it would be like me doing it. It's kind of whatever. It's not particularly intellectual. It's just like kind of the ramblings of whatever in like semi-coherent structure. And then there was a couple that were like, I was legitimately very impressed with the level of the analysis and the presentations. It was some of them very well done. But there is something about Bethesda games where they can be simultaneously for everyone and for no one, and on some base level appeal to some part of you to hold your attention, despite the fact that, like, if you actually look at what the game is offering, it's in traditionally with Bethesda games, and I would say this game isn't really doesn't really change this fact. Across the board, below average for the rest of the industry. Like story as it's delivered, which is different than lore. Elder Scrolls lore, especially for stuff like Morrowind and whatnot, is actually very good. Story, character, or characters, combat, mission or quest quality, interactions with characters, options in how you tackle and solve solutions or solve problems. All of these things that they're all well below like the watermark of their their RPG peers, and so I think if I had to take a guess, I mean it appeals to some level of nostalgia, and I don't even mean that in the sense of like of legitimate nostalgia where it's like, oh, you're looking back at Oblivion 20 years ago or whatever the fuck. But like even if the game came out today, like there's definitely like an appeal to nostalgia. They're very good with their visual themes, for example. And the big strength for their games has always been that they can take those themes and apply it to like one big ass landmass that both has a lot to do on it and nothing at all, and it encourages your travel and your exploration, and visually they tend to always be quite stunning, and again kind of invokes some base level of nostalgia and wonder, and I think that's where a lot of people get it. I mean, or a lot of people are why Bethesda games are as popular as they are, modern especially so, and to the point where it became quite formulaic. But when they tried to expand that into a multi-planetary whatever, they lost a lot of like the foundation for which they typically build all that stuff off of, which is just one big open world instead of like this 5 main city hubs and then 1,000 planets that are mostly barren rock and variations of pine trees that don't entice the exploration factor nearly as much, and they don't have, because it's more about volume at that point, it's less frequent you're getting some handcrafted, somebody thought about when you're walking from down the hill towards oh my god, I have Oblivion city names in my head. What's that first major town in Skyrim called again? My brain's got Oblivion bullshit. I've got Kvatch in my head and it won't leave me. Whiterun. You go past Riverwood. That's like a little mini village, but like the actual, so Whiterun. So somebody very specifically crafted and thought about, you're coming down that hill, you go past the waterfall, the time of day, unless you fucked off somewhere and really, wasted your time, and even if regardless of time of day, you've got this city or this town, really springing up from the ground with the lowland surrounding area around it. There's these big yellow fields, and the play of the sun or the moon behind it filtering through the fucking trees as you go down with and there's the river that runs to the right side of it, and you're going through the farmland, and the imagery that you can get with the windmills, with the sun coming through the windmills, that's all handcrafted, and it looks fucking amazing. So when you're walking through, that's a reason to go walk through that shit, because it feels good, it looks good, it evokes something in you, right? It makes you feel some shit. Whereas in this, because they had to go for mostly, you know, celestial bodies where they wanted to be, I guess, as in more often than not, scientifically accurate, where they're just moon, like, barren rock planets, and occasionally what looks to be the Canadian Shield. You don't get a lot of the handcrafted stuff. You get handcrafted stuff in the main city hubs, but you don't get handcrafted stuff very frequently outside of them unless you're in an area like this, but it's like an interior space. And it's harder to get emotion into somebody when they're walking through a cell block in a place, you know, it's just like an iceberg. And everything is one shade or two shades of blue and gray. Like, you can look at it and appreciate that it might look technically good, but you understand what I'm getting at. So this game doesn't get that foundational piece. It's hard for them to have utilized what is arguably one of the most important functions of a Bethesda game in Starfield. So what you're getting is typical Bethesda main quest story, which is to say, the story itself might have flashes of interesting stuff, but most of it is just in like a book somewhere or some other shit you have to seek out because the way that it's delivered to you is usually a fucking snooze fest and everyone tells you not to do it. Characters that are by and large uninteresting and don't really mean anything to anyone, let alone the story. And combat that is not good ever. With terrible UI, as per usual, Bethesda classic. So what are you left with? You're left with all of the stuff that is standard to a Bethesda game, but with fewer of the strengths that would typically come with a Bethesda game. And you get this. And for some people, what's left over there is enough for them to enjoy it a lot. I'm going to be super interested to see the life of this game with mods. We know that we've got years before Elder Scrolls 6 rolls around, so it could be quite something. But I think that this is likely going to be a game that more than any other Bethesda title lives and dies by its mods. Like, it will be, you know, Skyrim you could play with no mods when it came out, and it was at least an intriguing enough experience that you could go through the game vanilla. No, you know, that's fine. The mods were just kind of like, it was an additive thing, right? Most of the mods were like, how can we make Skyrim look better over time? Until people were doing like really big content mods. Or how can we get Booba into this game? Whereas with this, I feel like this game is going to see less of the visual and more of the, how can we make this an actually compelling video game? I'll be very interested in how the modding community evolves and what the types of mods that we see are and what are the popular mods and whatnot. I think most of the mods up front are going to be for visual stuff is likely going to be optimization based and less about trying to make it properly look better. All of the textures are very high res, so the textures are like, very few textures in the game need some sort of fucking update, so that's not going to be it. And it's already so taxing on systems that it would be ludicrous to try and fuck with it, except for to have it be more efficient. Like there is a mod that's in Skyrim where somebody meticulously went back through and redid all of the meshes to make them far more efficient. That there is a name for that. I don't remember what it's called, but you can take like a very a very high detailed model polygonally, and then you go in and you edit out as much of it. Oh god, there's an actual technical term for this. You delete as many of as many of the lines or whatever that make up that model, but still basically look exactly the same by the time it's all said and done. Like, you lose very little of the fidelity of the overall model, but you are making it far less taxing on the system running it, which is an important part of how textures are overlaid onto these, I guess what you call them, meshes. Retopology, that might be it? But yeah, like that's something I could see, like somebody will have like a crazy thing would be like, I want this to run on a system way, you know, way better than it does, and it's old and way older than you know, is available right now. They did it with Skyrim and stuff to the point where like you could run Skyrim on a fucking potato. The Static Mesh Improvement mod might be the name of it. I honestly can't remember, it's been so long since I did my modded Skyrim. I mean, there's, you know, that's a very time-consuming and labor-intensive thing to do, so depending on, you know, how much time there is for somebody to be sitting around fucking, really optimizing the fuck out of shit, you know, unsurprising that perhaps sometimes there's a lot of bloat in models and whatnot going to, launch day. Found it.
Was this an armory? Looks like they cleared this place out. Well, well, what do we have here? Give me a sec. This ought to come in handy.
Did you actually pick up anything out of it? Ah, there you go. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's that thing that's got like, it's like a bolt shooter or whatever, but it shoots like all of them in that laser pattern. Yeah, I remember seeing a thing on that. Laplacian smoothing? I don't think so. Let me see if I can... Oh, is my phone over there? Let me see if I can figure it out. What is that?
UC must have burned some serious cash when they lost this place.
Let me see.
A 100 years old, eh? It's amazing this entire place hasn't collapsed by now. Can you imagine how angry the prisoners were when they rioted? I would hate to have been one of the guards. There's got to be a way out of this goddamn place.
Frick's sakes. This is gonna drive me crazy.
If we get out of here, remind me to thank Delgado for hanging us out to dry.
It, like, I know there's a fancier term I've read, but, like... It's really just, like, in the simplest terms, it's mesh optimization. So you're essentially taking something that... Like mesh optimization, like 3D model optimization. You're basically taking something like, let's say, that started with, you know, 8,000 triangles, and you can keep a nearly identical overall shape using half as many triangles, but you have to go in and know how to properly, you know, edit those out. Although I would imagine at this point that many engines, 3D engines that you would build in, probably have a tool or function that does that automatically. You know, I know that had to be done
fun, like rob a bank or something.
manually before, but like many things, it's been automated. Ow! Fucking this guy's got the zoomies! Corrosive puddle. Okay. Let's not walk in that then. Ideally. Oh man, these fly bites are going to... I'm hoping they're not as bad as the last ones, because the last ones took me out the game. It was fucking my sleep up and everything. Oh. Ay caramba. Double damage to targets with full health, so you just bitch smack them on round one, eh? We got. I'm getting full up here. Adam looks like he's thinking about the Roman Empire instead of actually caring about the game. What kickstarted that going around on the internet this week? I saw a million posts about that again. I was like, what the fuck? What the hell was what was the genesis of that becoming an internet meme this week? You know what the sad thing is? I actually do think about the Roman Empire at least a couple times a day. So I can safely say that the only times I ever think about the Roman Empire are during the times where I make the obvious comparison of America falling to pieces. That's about the only time I can think of that I actually ever think of the Roman Empire. That's it.
I swear, I am never putting ice in my drinks. Ever again.
It's like a passing thought. No, I mean, I don't know. I've never known anyone who's, you know, admitted thinking about it that frequently, but you never know. It wouldn't shock me. Man brain is a thing for sure. Do you find anything in Starfield to be inherently interesting or captivating? What was so good about Skyrim? Okay. I'm too old to be able to play the game and talk at the same time. And I'm gonna have to listen to Chucklefuck back there talk every 5 seconds. So, I don't find anything about this game captivating. I do have some like, one of my biggest frustrations with it is that I think that there were a group of people internally that had a kind of a really cool vision for what the overall feeling and direction the game could have gone in, and but they weren't the ones making the big decisions. So all of the NASA, what they call the NASA punk stuff, all the terminals that have like they're mostly like analog buttons and switches and all that shit. That all looks so dope, and even though I hate that I have to watch it every time, when docking and undocking, seeing the camera, which is basically like what you'd see watching in real life, something docked to the International Space Station, or what have you, or even like in Interstellar, there was like a whole scene with that kind of deal. Like that aesthetic, I feel like hints at not just overall aesthetic, but also hints at a style of game that could have been, but just wasn't. So I get frustrated thinking about that, because I think that leaning harder into that could have made for a much more visually and otherwise compelling game. But in terms of like, what is it about, are there anything about this game that I find compelling? No. Do I find a lot of stuff really terrible? No. It's just there's a couple of things that are bothersome and not particularly good, and then the rest of the game is just average on a high end. On like the absolute highest end, it's average. Especially for a AAA game. Average. So you're getting mostly average with a number of well, I shouldn't say nitpicky. Some of it's pretty major, fucking terrible. So you're getting, in my opinion, a below average overall package here. What made Skyrim so good? So some of it's difficult, especially if you never played Skyrim when it first came out. just like if you never played Oblivion when it first came out, or Morrowind when it first came out, is that those 3 games specifically, Fallout 3 and 4 weren't as much this, but when those games came out, they were an event in that everyone knew that it was going to, especially after Morrowind. Well, how should I say it? So Morrowind into Oblivion, there were expectations. The leap from Morrowind to Oblivion was huge. The leap from Oblivion to Skyrim was huge, and so it was an event in that sense. We knew we were getting a refinement of a formula that we already liked. Some may argue that we refined too far by the time we get to Skyrim, as far as their open world fantasy environments are concerned, and mechanics. But it was an event. So when that stuff came out, it was really quite something. You can retroactively try to compare Skyrim to other games, and it could be more difficult to appreciate. But the way, like I said in a little ranty diatribe that turned into a short on YouTube, especially up to at least Skyrim, nobody in the industry was doing games like Bethesda, or doing games in similar within the same genre, or within, let's say, close tangentially related genres, like, let's say, third-person open-world RPGs or some shit. They were doing things in such a way that even if there was some broken stuff and not everything was perfect and whatnot, that it didn't matter. They were shooting for something much more grand and accomplishing it most of the time, and it made for a very unique experience within gaming in general. Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and I would make an argument, Starfield. No, I'm not saying that Fallout 76 is as good as Starfield, or Starfield's as bad as 76. That's not what I'm saying. But the gap between the gap, or not even the gap, but the cushion provided by what used to be bleeding edge industry tech and bleeding edge kind of scope and scale and how to describe it, and just very ambitious projects, that gap has gotten very small. It's not the gap that it used to be. And at the same time, all of the other accoutrement that makes a Bethesda game, which is typically below average or terrible combat, below average or not great story writing, or telling, I should say. The writing is often not bad. The telling part is fucking atrocious. Character interaction, characters in general, things of that nature that were all, so you're keeping that mid fuckery to bad, but then the stuff that allowed them to enjoy this separation from the rest of the industry has shrunk. And so now we have this, and it's a problem. So I say all that to say, what was compelling about Skyrim? Well, especially when it first came out, pretty much everything. But it's the Bethesda's strongest points, especially at that time, was their ability to create with their art teams and their environmental artists, incredibly compelling, gripping, enthralling world environments that made you want to go out and explore and find things to do and see the sights and be caught up in this world, and be a part of it. You could almost be like a permanent tourist in their games, typically. Like the Skyrim grandma, for example. And so, yeah. Now, I think a lot of people, when they play these games, especially if it's like their first Bethesda game, whether it's Skyrim or otherwise, they're okay with the combat being waterish, you know, dog water and story elements not making much sense or being just not good in general and things of that nature. But then they grow up and they're like, wow, man, so much has happened in this genre now. We need to be getting more out of Bethesda. Like, it can't just be that they're environmental artists and Jeremy Soule come out of the woodwork and carry the fuck out of them, and the modding community. There has to be more. There has to be substance now. You can't. You need substance. Like, for me, I need substance now, right? A lot of people are saying, you know, I just played Baldur's Gate 3 and then I played Starfield and I was like, wow, and they were having this realization of the gap of story and character. And it's not like Baldur's Gate didn't have incredible environmental artistry and the vibe. There's a vibe in that game too. Like, it's they you know, it's not like they're only good with the story and characters, right? And voice acting and voice direction. Holy fuck, Bethesda stands it with sore thumb now. And I just, yeah, it's almost sad because it's hard for me to look forward to Elder Scrolls 6 now because I don't think it's going to be a game for me. I think it's going to be a game for 13-year-olds that are playing their first Bethesda game. If this is what we're to expect, a Starfield, I think that's what it's going to be like. You know, Witcher 3, Elden Ring, even the recent Zelda games. You know, open world RPGs and open world action games are, even Baldur's Gate 3 is a semi-open world RPG experience. Closer to a Morrowind than modern Bethesda, but all the same. You know, you gotta be able to up your game now. Now I say all this, and you go and look, and like, what is this game sitting on fucking Metacritic right now? Yeah, people were playing Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, the comparisons are gonna hurt there because there's literally a cyberpunk fucking, like, city in this. It's sitting at an 84 with 81 critics. That's for the Xbox One. Let me see for PC. It's 86 on PC with 71. So you average it out, call it an 85. Right? Got an 85. Now, I would say that generally speaking, you know, they gave review copies to very specific people, as we know, but that happens all the time anyway. But I mean, there are a lot of people that are enjoying this game. Same time, Metacritic is at 6.6 user score on 9200 rating on the Xbox, and 6.6 on the PC. And so, you know, I'd like to think that there are some people that are starting to come around to understanding that Bethesda is putting out more and more soulless experiences. And that's kind of where we are. And it's not that they haven't done that in the past, it's just becoming more and more evident to people now, and it's more and more important for them to not be that, I think. But like, it's really hard for me to take some of these reviews seriously. Like, I just look at this, like this one, like this one on Metacritic that's from an actual publication. It would not be a stretch to say this could be one of the most ambitious games ever made. Unfathomably vast and boundless as the subject matter it covers. Raises the bar for the genre and for the medium as a whole in countless ways. Are we playing the same game? And I'm not even trying to be like contrarian or some shit. I'm not even trying to be that fucking jaded. I just played a game that's not even in like my wheelhouse, that I don't even enjoy the genre in general, for 150 hours, and I could suck that game's dick raw. I'm playing a game that's supposed to be from my top 3 developers of all time, thousands of hours in their games. Here, this game is for me. Space? Bethesda? Like, what, but how high do you have to be to say that Starfield raises the bar for this genre? At all? How? I need to see this fucking review. I'm getting angry now. Starfield is an experience of mind-boggling scale and boundless ambition, and yet, in spite of how expansive and sprawling it is, it achieves its vision with an immaculate focus and thoroughness, bringing its interstellar setting to life in a way that is rare to see in this medium or any other. That is a factually incorrect statement. Even if you were being subjective about it, somehow it's still horribly incorrect. Like, you'd have to be on hard drugs to even come to any of that as a conclusion. How? How can you say that? I'm just looking at this review and it's I'm trying to find the parts that back up that statement, right? I'm trying to see, I want to know the reasoning. Because it's one thing to just say that. But I need to know what the... Like, they start saying stuff that counters that statement. The core cast, the members of Constellation, a group of space explorers that you join at the outset of the story, are fun and endearing group, and they feel like a much more prominent part of your adventure than companions usually have in past Bethesda games. I don't want to oversell things here. It's not like the Constellation crew is going to give, say, Mass Effect 2's ensemble a run for its money by any stretch of the imagination. But the core cast of Starfield is properly fleshed out, well written, and well acted. Okay, let's fucking calm down there. Okay, they made all these sweeping fucking statements, and then all I'm really seeing here is, like, trying to sound nice about the fact that it's not all that good. There are, of course, moments where combat is unavoidable, but they're spaced out enough that it never feels like the game is forcing you into firefights every chance it gets, which I think works in its favor, because combat in Starfield, though solid and enjoyable in its own right, is probably the least fun part of the game. Oh no, they're lost in the sauce. They were praising the skill leveling system. Oh god. Well, that's a useless review. That's why I say, like, you know how I often say, that, like, if somebody says, so what do you think you're gonna rate this game or some shit? And I say, I don't know, I've got to write my review first and read it over, and then I'll probably have an idea. That's why. Because I could write a review and read it over, and I might in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this could be this. Then when I sit down and actually write out all of my thoughts and turn it into a review, and I make sure that the review, you know, is cohesive and makes sense. And then I know what it is, then now I know the score. But that was just somebody that just fucking had verbal diarrhea and contradicted themselves from paragraph to paragraph I don't know, for the purpose of having a like... a couple of bites where they could just be particularly laden with hyperbole. I don't know, like they said that, like, pushing the genre forward, and not just that, they said the medium, video games as a whole.
Might as well grab some good stuff for ourselves.
And then proceeded to provide essentially zero backing for that, while also saying that there are many things that are at best serviceable, but often not good. But then they give the game a perfect score. They gave it a perfect score.
Can you imagine how angry the prisoners were when they rioted? I would hate to have been.
And that's not the only review that Metacritic is allowing. I really that is like that either. There are many. This guy's in shambles right now, and he's got the biggest gun. Remember when video games cost 30 bucks, now they're like 100? Well, I definitely don't remember a time they were ever 30 bucks. I do remember a time when they were $80 for a short stint. Like SNES and N64 cartridges were crazy expensive. Then they dropped when we moved to disc media for a time, and kind of stagnated at what, 50 bucks US? So $49.99 for quite some time. Then we had the $59.99, and then we just full sent it into the fucking sun here in the last like 5 years. We just gone all in.
I'm on my second day at the lock, and I've already had a close call. Big fight broke out at C-Block, and Gillespie sent us in to break it up. Might have been half a dozen inmates. It was hard to tell. We almost had it under control when one of them stuck a shiv into my leg. Luckily, the other guards dragged me out of there before he finished the job. Seems like the genius who designed this place didn't realize that the inmates would start carving weapons out of the permafrost. So now I'm cold, I'm tired, and my leg hurts like hell.
If we get
Great
out of
way
here,
to start my first
remind me
tour
to
at this
thank
stuff.
Delgado for having us on the drive.
You know what would be super amazing and would have been something noted immediately if I was a playtester for Bethesda, by which I would never do because I have this sneaking suspicion that you die early.
There's gotta be a way
But
out of this
if you're gonna put it in the game that you can listen to audio tapes or whatever the fuck else, and still walk around, like not have to sit in the menu, which I love, by the way. Shout out to BioShock for allowing us that little beautiful update to gaming. That your companions just don't talk. That can't be hard to program. Like an if-then statement type shit, like unless I don't know what the systems are there for that, but like, you know, the back end, it's got to be like there's a whole system for frequency and what a companion says out loud at any given time unprompted, and just be like, all right, if player is listening to audio tape, shut the fuck up.
I bet those things are crawling.
Like,
Right.
look at that. How long was that? 10 seconds? It's like they're terrified to just let the game, like, have ambient noise and music to stand on its
This is
own.
where the fleet
Look,
started. It's history, man. Blows me mind.
fuck me. Ah, shit. Oh, no, we're good.
Look at this dump. I can't imagine being stuffed down here to rot. Poor bastards.
This game and Elder Scrolls 6 are getting the Weekend at Bernie's level now. I mean, listen, like I said, this game has gone a long way in ensuring that my hype for Elder Scrolls 6 has dropped off the face of the earth. Just because, like, in my mind I was thinking, okay, if Bethesda's gonna do a brand new IP and all this shit and go through all this and whatnot, you know, this is obviously, you know, they want to try something new. They want to branch out and you know, maybe take a look at how to improve their you know, development practices from 25 years of doing the same shit. And that's not what happened. Clearly. And so, Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna come out, and it's probably going to have almost every one of the same tropes of Bethesda games that we've had forever, and the voice acting is still gonna sound robotic, and the facial animations are still gonna be the uncanniest of valleys. In combat is still, like, think of it this way, okay? Elder Scrolls 6, even though it doesn't come out for quite some time, has anyone gone and watched the Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay trailer that just came out? How long do you think this game will be on Game Pass for? Permanently, if not for a very long time. I mean, maybe, I can't imagine it being any less than 6 months. They've got to, they gotta pump Game Pass numbers up, and this is literally their best #1 Game Pass draw. To the point where they were like, yeah, we've already got 10 million players, and it's important that they said 10 million players and not we sold 10 million copies. That means the vast majority of them are on Game Pass.
Looks like this was the warden's office. They built the office right next to the shuttle bay, or could...
Fucking really? Those aren't... Oh, that's the worst. I see a lot of Fallout 4 graphics in this. It's been so long since I played Fallout 4 that I might not even recognize it, but that wouldn't be surprising. To have them... I'm gonna get like some foreign fucking disease in here, aren't I? Get my protection regen on. Yeah, I never begrudge a developer from reusing assets to a degree, as long as they can be repurposed in some meaningful way, because especially for games of this size, you gotta make some efficiencies because the cost is just so huge.
Something because I am getting... I knew it!
Hey, what the hell?
Is that Mathis? Tell him to...
Whatever.
Okay, I'm looking at schematics for the lock. But I can open the outer doors to the shuttle bay and then... Yeah, sure, and I wish gold coins would start right now. If wishing time is over, maybe you'd be kind... Okay, let me see.
Shuttle bay activated. Initiating the icing process.
Amazing.
Stand by.
Yup, that's got it. You have done a hell of a job, Rook.
Good work, everyone. Ooh, we do not have the weight for that, unfortunately. Nice as it would be. Cherries on pizza, yay or nay? Who the fuck is putting cherries on pizza? Like, who? What kind of pizza is this cherry shit supposed to be going on? Hawaiian? So with the pineapple, like in the 80s when they used to pair pineapple slices with a cherry in the middle of it? I mean, I gotta keep it 100. I can't, like, unless it's a dessert pizza of some kind, there is literally no shot in a million years I'm putting cherry on a pizza. Especially if, like, the whole pizza isn't designed specifically with having a cherry on it in mind. Yeah, cherry and pepperoni don't belong in the same sentence, let alone on a fucking pizza together. Master? Oh, fuck me. Okay. We're gonna be here for a while. We're ordering dinner since it's my last full day here. Oh, rip! Okay, yeah, no, that's a bad... Yeah, cherry? No. Get that shit out of here. Stop the madness. Six hours in Philly tomorrow. That layover. Down bad. Shit. Fucker. I might have to back up one. A $600 book for the Count of Monte Cristo. Really? Okay. Why not? I love how conceptually, this far in the future, standard books are still a thing. The vintage memes. Vintage might explain why the, you know, some of them are worth so much for sure. Some of them are still only like $100. Or 100 credits. Not really one-to-one with dollars, but... Master lock, and we've got a shit space suit, a mediocre helmet, $500 credits. We got Moby Dick, Frankenstein. Moby Dick, Frankenstein. The Count of Monte Cristo. Ten out of 10.
Why the hell did you lie to Delgado about me? You didn't do all this work alone.
Oh, pretty much did, and besides, you were trying to get me to kill him the whole fucking time. Why are you worried about his opinion?
Hey, come on.
Hey!
I was just looking out for both of us. I could have cut you out of the deal, but I didn't, right?
What deal? You're on your own. On an island.
About all that killing Delgado stuff. Why don't we just forget about everything that I said? You know, like it never happened.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, don't worry. Now, let's get the heck out of here.
I'm probably gonna tell him. If I'm gonna be honest. Wait, can you not just, like, get on the ship and not fight this? I see. Okay. Oh, that's why. What the fuck? Eventually, I will do what I want to do. Just not right now. Wait, do I really not have any grenades? They must just not be fucking equipped. Yeah. 32 fucking frag grenades. Thrilling. Junk flush. It's what you use when you have a yeast infection. What up, Shades? Did I get the evidence here for the UC Mole Quest Deep cover? Don't remember, to be honest. I clicked on every terminal, I got every mixtape. I listened to every underground rap artist that I came across. We'll see if that's actually part of it. If we got it or not. Synthetic turkey, pog. It's the Me Blast disruptor. A 100 EM. Fancy. Fuck. Probably didn't need to pick that up. Beowulf, a breach, Grendel, $12,000 rifle that weighs 4 fucking tons. It'll be in your inventory with evidence next to an audio tape. Okay, let me just double check here. See what we're working with. I got that one. I don't know if they keep like old ones too. That one. Yeah, we got a couple. Neva's is old. The other one might be from here. Not sure. Sadly, I don't have any encumbrance to deal with right now that I can add to here. Jump seat. Pilot seat. Amazing. Well, let's get on in here. Do they have like a canned cutscene for this? Oh, they do. There you go. Kind of reminds me of, you know what this reminds me of? The Knights of the Old Republic, whenever you'd fly off-world or go to a planet. Oh yeah, I know they're in various places, I just didn't remember, I didn't take note if I had found the one there.
I appreciate that you may have business here. I would simply ask that you conclude it quickly.
Yeah, we're working on it.
The fleet is family. Stealing from each other is just what you call professional
The fleet protects our own. But you turn against us, and you're dead.
Wow, firing range next to the gym. Incredible.
Need something?
Music in the Nova will get you in the mood for a job.
Okay, let's see if we can find some evidence at the bar.
Bar's over by the back wall.
Wow, the frame rate in here is fucking incredible. Just Aurora laying around, eh? Personal groomer. I know I'd take my friggin' electric razor to the bar.
If I had a Birion crest, I'd run my...
Certainly. Let's talk about something else. How did the Crimson Scar become the Crimson Fleet?
Well, it's just...
After I busted out of the lock,
Why is it every time we go out and have a job, it's you
I had to
who
leave.
gets all our
You
credit?
see ships on a couple
My
of
friend's got a point
ex-cons at
Every
my
pirate
side,
has joined it.
but I needed more. So I sent out the
Seems
call.
to me, instead of trawling deep
Once
space
word
for
got
steam
around,
change,
didn't
we
take
got a
long for
much
freelance
bigger
pirates
target.
from every corner of
Right
the
here.
system to show up.
And this is how the Crimson Fleet was born.
Exactly. The key became our base of operations. We spent months reinforcing our position there, making it nearly impossible to approach.
What could
What
go
was the
wrong in
UC's
a place
response to
like
the
this?
situation?
First of all, UC security gave up.
Ugh, there are a good many places I would rather be right now.
The Navy in turn sent ships to attack the key. I'd say there have been 3 major attacks over the last few years. And as you can tell by the fact we're having this interview, all the attacks were embarrassing failures.
Do you feel these embarrassing failures led them to form UC Systems?
Absolutely. They've clearly given up and decided to shove the responsibility onto a separate division. That way, in the public eye, the UC Navy can move forward, proud and strong, while UC SysDef continually takes all the blame. It's all about PR spin for them, Gale. That's how the UC operates. Kinda disgusting, don't you think?
Sounds a bit like you're trying to deflect attention off the atrocities the Crimson Fleet commits on a daily basis.
Atrocities, huh? How about fighting the Freestar Collective over a bunch of rocks hanging in space? How about thousands of people dying while a bunch of pencil-pushing bastards sit in a cushy office and draw lines on a star map? Maybe the United Colonies should stop the bullshit and take a hard look in the mirror to see who the monsters really are.
Let me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Fine. Go ahead.
When is enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Criggs need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you to ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job? Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. I'm done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gale, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
Far more important question than all this interview nonsense going on right now is cereal a type of soup? The game is asking, not me.
You looking to start something? Because I'll finish it.
Man, I get so tired of pirates on this station. On the back.
Is coffee a type of soup? I mean... if enough pieces of donut fall into it... maybe. Uh-oh, chill. We don't need another incident. We already had one plastic box incident today, we don't need another.
Need a drink? Bog at the last novel will be more than happy to take your credits.
That last job didn't pan out. I need something bigger.
Anything ship-related, you're at the right place.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna access your computer without your, approval.
We call UCC staff sharks, but to the fleet, they're just bait.
I feel like I gotta walk around with fucking
Right now, the patience.
bat vision on.
Too many missions, not enough time.
What the fuck is... oh, it's just a container with a reflection in the middle of it.
If you want to stay under the radar, I've got just the thing.
Listen, woman. Enough chit-chat. You need a blind emote? Probably.
Ask Jazz about any ship upgrades. Nothing worse than a pirate ship with no personality.
If you got any spare creds or just need to unload some junk, head to the depot.
But also in a game where even a used coffee cup is an interactable item. Sometimes stuff gets overlooked. I will take that. And that. And that. And that.
Where did
And
your
that.
stellar rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Were these violent crimes? Murders?
I'm a bit offended you even asked that question, Gale. Sure, a few
kind of
people
name
here and
is
there
sis
walked
death,
away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way.
Is soup a beverage?
They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything. Didn't want to waste their time with rehabilitation.
Always
What changed
listen
that?
to Delgado.
Was it the robbery in
Unless you want to get
2218?
keel-hauled across the
2218. Oh, yeah. The Galbank archives. Very good, Gale. See, you've done your research. That would be when I rounded up a few of my buddies.
I would say a soup is a beverage
Made off with a ton
if
of
it's something that does not need to be chewed.
My first big
So like
score.
completely pure, completely blended.
Decided to bring you into their ranks?
The moment you gotta start chewing,
They brought me in, taught me the ropes, and I did crimes for them for 5 years. Till I decided I wanted more.
I think that
I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place,
falls
and started
off.
running the show.
See anything you like?
Really? All right. Whose butthole is it? Fess up. Whose butthole did they model for an apple? Wait, the Dolphins scored 70 points in a game today? Excuse me? Who the fuck were they playing? An elementary school tag football team? Whose butthole Sasha Gray's? Sasha did me August with the it's not a deep cut. Sasha Gray's not a deep cut. That's too well known. Bill Simmons convinced me to bet on the Broncos covering the spread. Lol. Lol. My penis will be erect for longer than 4 hours. What if it's like one of those things where they just they expended all of, or they've got elite credits. Expended all of their offensive prowess in a single game, and then they literally never fucking do anything for the rest of the season. God, the sheer amount of ammo types in this game is so silly.
Always a pleasure.
Drekka. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
Looking to make a deal? What'll it be, friend? Buying? The fleet's got an impressive commerce system. They even managed a legit business on the quay is like no...
Okay. Just...
Not everyone thinks so. There are a few.
Can I just see what you have?
Business it is.
Fuck me. Well, fuck.
I'm sure we can...
Oh, anything fun? Nope.
Remember, all trades are restriction-free.
Are you looking to start something? Cause I'll...
Wanna be starting something, got to be starting something.
All I can tell you is that
Too hard to get over, too low to get under,
every other syndicate.
stuck in the middle.
Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power. People that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits. Gale, I have to tell you, I was having the time of my life.
So you consider extortion, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and murder to be positive life influences?
Succeed at that before we are discovered.
I consider them as just means to an end. Those so-called crimes were merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy the Crimson Scar a few spacecraft.
Yes, let's talk about that. It appears you weren't satisfied with terrorizing New Atlantis alone.
Oh, I've never stopped reaching, Gale. The amount of money we were making in New Atlantis was decent, but the really big scores were in space, on the cargo ships. We're talking millions of credits, maybe more. Who the hell could count it all?
Most people assume
Even amongst space scum, gym etiquette is universal.
Those idiots in charge of the United Colonies
Wipe down your equipment. Try to avoid back injuries.
Make the jump into space.
With spotting. Rotate in. Let people go in between your sets.
I almost think that they enjoy starting wars.
Perhaps this was the first time you had finally reached too far.
You could say that. I count my time running the Crimson Scar as a learning experience. I wouldn't say I reached too far. I'd say I reached too fast. Didn't cover all my bases. Made some stupid mistakes. One thing's for certain, though. When I was finally arrested and thrown into the lock, I had plenty to think about.
Everyone else hates Mathis too. Listen, guys, all this football talk, the only thing that matters is, are the Jaguars gonna break even? One of my favorite GIFs on the internet is the Jaguar fan in the crowd going, ha! Like, you're a fan, you're there, but like, even that you know they're shit, but you're still shocked. At the end of the day, you're in awe at just how bad they can be.
I like my weapons like I like my coffee. Scalding.
Black? Oh, okay.
Kinetics, electromags, energy weapons. Nothing.
I like my weapons, like I like my coffee. Gay. What?
Yeah?
What?
Long live the fleet.
What? It is a good GIF. I plopped it in Discord. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure everyone's seen it, but it's such an old GIF. It's one of the first, I would say, probably one of the first commonly used reaction memes before reaction memes really became like a major thing.
There you are. The hell took you so long?
It's about time. I was about to fly down and loot your bodies.
Not now, neighbor. Well, you said you found something. Hand it over. That's it? Just one slate?
Shut the fuck up.
After losing so much of our crew, it better be a map with a big red X on it. Well, I'll be damned.
It's a map with a big red X on it.
It's the name of an actual ship. A Galbank transport, probably loaded with credits.
Never heard any stories about a Gal Bank ship going down. And even if it had happened, it would have been picked clean years ago.
No, neighbor. Think. If Galbank covered it up, and over time,
Weapons of mass
the location
destruction.
was eventually forgotten, it wouldn't be on anyone's radar.
You guys
Okay,
need help.
This changes things. Now that we know what we are looking for, we have to narrow the search.
Ooh, excuse me.
Well, that is not necessarily true. Let us start with what we know. It was
This game is a weapon of mass
Going
destruction.
to have records of where it went down. Nayla, weren't you working on a deal with
Oh.
something about a big wig charity event on one of Trident's Starliners?
Are you serious? I've been working on that gig for 3 months. That's my score.
Ay, Dios mío. Will you shut up about your score and think for a second? That Starliner has a Galbank VIP suite aboard, which means... Come on, Ava. This isn't hard.
Which means a Gal Bank exec will be aboard. We grab their credentials and get ourselves into the Gal Bank archives in New Atlantis. Holy shit, that might actually work. I'll send a message to Rokov right away.
Pack your bags, Rook. You're going on vacation. And since you've earned it, take this gun with you. Might come in handy when Rokov screws everything up as usual.
Oh, it's a pistol. Well, that's convenient for us.
Good, because that is exactly what you are going to be doing. Neva and I are too well known to walk around the Starliner without being recognized. If Trident Security spotted us, it'd be over. I need you to board that ship, make contact with Rokov, and get me those credentials.
Least expensive disappointment? I don't know, man. 5 gum. Is this game all dialogue? No. But it's a lot of dialogue. Unless you like, I mean, unless you're going off the beaten path to do the non-quest related stuff. So, you know, shipbuilding or, like base building. I would say planet exploration, but there's no real incentive to be exploring planets. In all honesty, it's very minimal. I mean, you can do it, and you'll find like
Do it on your own time.
a spacer
You'd better.
overrun
Before you leave,
mining
I wanted you to
platform
know
or
that I took
some
this
shit,
ship
but
under
really, like,
reasonable
there's nothing to really see.
and I've decided to cut him from the fleet.
Honestly, I'm surprised he made it off Suvorov in one piece.
We'll see. That's it then. Next stop for you is Rokov Starliner, the Siren of the Stars. And remember, Rokov does not need to know anything about Grixis' legacy. For now, it's just between us. Now get out of here.
Hey, Rook. Before you head out, I need to have a word with you. Meet me at the last Nova after you wrap things up with Mathis.
Ugh.
If you have any last questions about the job, ask them now.
I desperately need to see if Game Pass subscription numbers take a bit of a dive after, like, let's say, you know, a month after this game is out. Because they really pushed all, you know, everyone into the service for this game in the 11th hour before release.
So there I am. UC security.
Hey, I want to talk to you. Thanks to you, Delgado's cutting me from the fleet. Well, you know what? You better get your own fleet, because I'm coming after you. Oh, I see. You think you're some kind of big shot, is that it? Gonna show poor Mathis a little mercy now that you're Delgado's best buddy, yeah? Well, guess what? Your generosity is getting me kicked off the key. And that means you better watch your back. Oh, I will, I can promise you that. Best part is, you won't even see it coming.
But you have just told us that you will attempt it. Do you not consider that counterproductive if you mean to ambush us.
Now get the hell out of me way!
Again, I implore Bethesda to start writing quest lines and shit where you can tackle them in many different ways. Because really...
Hey, be careful not to point that thing.
Like, why would anyone shoot me? He's kicked out of the fleet. He's not even Crimson anymore. And he's making open threats to a Crimson member. But I'm not allowed to just kill him here, even though he's threatening to come attack me at some random, probably less convenient time. So I can't just shoot him in the head now. Couldn't shoot him down on the planet side either when he was talking about overthrowing the fucking leadership.
We may not have official security of the key, but we're always looking out for traitors.
Those creds ain't gonna steal themselves. There you are. Alright, look. I've been lining up a score with that asshole Rokoff on the Siren of the Stars for months. I'm not about to let a payday slip through my fingers. So guess what? You're gonna finish the job for me. I'm about to tell you, so shut up and listen. Rokov's been tipping me off about some kind of bullshit charity event that the Siren of the Stars is hosting. At the event, they're gonna give away something called the Earth Savior Award.
I was actually down to overthrow Delgado with him and didn't rat him out. There was never an option to do so. Really?
While you're on the Siren, swiping those Gal Bank credentials, I want you to grab that award and bring it to me.
That seems weird.
No. Dombrowski's only aboard to use the Gal Bank VIP suite, so he can catch a free ride at the company's expense. I'm sure he'll be there partying with the other spoiled brats. I can guarantee he doesn't give a crap about what's going on at the event. And I'd prefer to have the money that award's worth in my account. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. Look, you can make all the jokes and excuses you want. But if you don't come back with the ES award, I'm gonna deduct it from your pay. Either way, I get my money. How much you walk away with is in your own hands. Got it?
I suppose it is up to you to decide whether it is worth it.
Then it's settled. All right, Rook, we're done here. Because that's exactly what you are.
Oh, hey, the game finally cut in for the dialogue.
Beneath all of that inexperience, I'm sure you have an actual name. But honestly, no one gives a damn. So get used to hearing that word. Until you earn your stripes, you're a Rook to everyone in the fleet.
Out of an abundance of caution, I have to wait to see if there's a dad joke that follows that up, Dad Bread.
Because that's exactly what you... Beneath all... So get used to... Stay sharp, Rook.
No dad joke? Then that's awful. hopefully the divorce is for the best for both parties and there are no children involved. And hopefully it goes as smoothly as one can hope a divorce to go.
I do not trust the Crimson Fleet.
Every time I see Radley smile, I want to punch him.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactalk.
What kind of name is Sis
My guest
Death,
tonight
anyway?
is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy.
They got married during the lockdowns too. High stress time to tie the knot. How long were they together before?
Jasper Crix. Good evening, Mr. Crix.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for
Excuse me.
accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I call an invitation.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history? Or do they simply sputter?
Arranged marriage, probably a few months. Ah, I see.
Privateers.
I wasn't sure when you said high school friend. I was like, okay, I didn't know if they were
Is moving on to bigger and better
just like
That's spot on, Gail.
a non-arranged situation.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular leap entails?
In due time. There's no rush. In fact, I'd say we have at least 12 hours before the authorities trace this broadcast. Plenty of time to discuss whatever you like.
Oh, all right then. Perhaps the best place to start this interview would be at the beginning of your career.
Please, proceed.
Whew. Always a satisfying moment.
Oh, she is my high school friend. Oh, okay, so it's the female side. So was it a mutual decision, or did somebody just wake up and be like, full send? From what she said, he fucked around. Not literally? Oh. I was gonna say. Well, either way, he found out, apparently. Andresia? I know we had an intimate conversation not long ago, but, this seems a little forward. And I gotta be honest, your ass cheeks in those pants are kind of abrasive on my face. I love how this piece of shit has no shields. No nothing. I told my wife about it without batting an eye. She goes, sometimes it is what it is. I was like, babe, it's cold as fuck. I mean, she is right. Sometimes it is what it is. I mean, look. There is, and especially once kids are involved, there is something to be said about putting both people putting a good faith and a good faith effort in and great effort into resolving marital issues and to, you know, keep the train moving. But if one or both parties are unwilling or incapable of being part of that process and it turns into an unhealthy and toxic environment for one or both parties, especially, you know, if there are children involved, then it's, you know, divorce shouldn't necessarily be your first option, but it should be an option. Because, you know, sometimes it is in fact, unfortunately, the best choice. I would also imagine that if your wife doesn't really know these people, then, you know, degrees of separation there, she's probably not, you know, she's not going to be like, you know, if it was somebody that she knew more closely, her response might not be as cold. I'll be back though. I've got to go and pick up Em from work, and then we will continue. We're just gonna continue this, which means I get to go back and have even more conversations with somebody and inform them of how we're being a good boy, and here's some voice recordings, and then we will continue the Crimson Fleet meme, I guess, as we continue on to figure out what this whole thing is about. So far, it's just been like, hey, we're kind of interested in finding out the history of our founder, who apparently had lots of money, so that at some junction, I'm sure, like, you know, at least 3 people towards the top are gonna all be fighting over it at the same time, and we'll see. But I'll be back. I'll probably alt-tab this to give you guys just some generic music and put up the break screen arena here. So sit